I would like to tell a story about the gluttony of silence tonight. I have not spoken to my parents for 2 years. The best 2 years of my life. I highly recommend this. The amount of brain space freed for me. I've written 4 novels in that time. And the way this all started was around another sort of gluttony, which was a Thanksgiving gluttony, which is what prompted me to come here. So my mother is she's a wonderful woman. She really is. If love were war, she's kind of an Achilles. I have a good friend named Alan who is a black belt in Taekwondo, won 4 junior titles, and the last time she hugged him, she headlocked him so tight and held him in like this, he came out of it and was like, I think your mom hurt my neck. And he's still sort of dealing with that. To her, love is everything that motivates her. It's the reason she exists. She pours love into her children, she pours love into her family. And to negate that in any way is not only a blight on her, but against the universe itself, because to her, this is the only reason there is anything. And so, 2 years ago, we were planning Thanksgiving, and I decided to learn to cook from her when I was young. I was the one who took up that mantle, much to my father's chagrin, who thought it should have been my sister. He's a very liberal-minded man, and yet somehow not all at the same time. I suppose many people have parents that are sort of contradictions in terms like that. So my mother's talking to me about planning the meal, and we've all recently moved out to California, and I'm starting to get into this whole, lighter fare kind of thing. Because back east, Thanksgiving is a gluttonous, horrific affair. There's more food on the table than you can eat. The turkey, you get like a 25-pound turkey for 4 people, and that's like expected. And you get sweet potatoes and mashed potatoes and 5 kinds of vegetables, and it just go, 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 go. And I'm starting to decide that maybe we should not do that. Maybe we should ease it out. And so my mother keeps sending me emails being like, so what are we going to do about the menu? I'm thinking this and this and this. And it's the same menu as always, but to her it seems to be new. There's a goldfish aspect to my mother. And so she's laying out the menus to me, and I'm kind of ignoring the emails. The silence is starting sort of unconsciously. And I don't want to respond to them, but I'm going kind of crazy. And you would think that the silence part would have started with a big bang, like, just go fuck yourself, Mom, I can't fucking stand you. Which is what I was saying in my head, but I held it quiet and quiet and quiet until finally I wrote what apparently is the worst thing I could have possibly written to my mother about our family Thanksgiving, which was, I don't care. And that sent off a cascade of familial problems. My older brother is calling me going, why did you tell Mom you don't care? What are you doing? You know you can't do that. And my sister, who's all about the harmony, she's like, Judah, you're driving us crazy. What are you doing? You can't do this, you can't do this. But I really had gotten to the point where I couldn't take it anymore. I couldn't take the way my mother was insisting on maintaining this old myth. And so, just in a very quiet, I felt very mature about it. I wrote my mother a letter, because she likes old-time things. I wrote it out on paper, which, have you done that in a long time? Because your hand really freaking hurts. Like, you get like a page and a half into it, and you're like, I can't do this. But you choose your words much more carefully, which is nice. And I wrote this really nice letter. I was like, I need to take a break. There's a much longer story about my family that I won't tell you now. It's what 3 of the novels were about, actually. So, I was like, I need to take a break. I love you, I really do. I need to take a break. And I sort of meant the love part. And in the beginning, my mom handled it pretty well. My dad kind of shut down. My dad has always kind of maintained that I was going to be the first one to abandon the family. He has a very odd worldview. It's very adversarial. And so I just pretty much played into my destiny with him. So I just ignored that and moved on. But my mother was like, okay, I'm okay with that. I love you no matter what. You need time. But I think her idea of time was like a month. And the longer it went, the more I enjoyed it. But this is one of the reasons I do highly recommend this to any and all of you, especially after Thanksgiving, when you can really think about this. You might be motivated to try it. It's kind of awesome. I would hear things about my parents, like, yeah, that's interesting, but I wouldn't have to deal. I wouldn't have to take the constant onslaught of what's going on in my relationship or my lack of relationship, what's going on in my job, what's going on. Just my entire future laid before me that I have no idea about, but they somehow think I should somehow know and have a plan for. I didn't have to deal with anymore. And it actually settled things for me. And I've been loving it. And I've been completely gluttonous about it. I just ignore the emails. I don't call back. It's like they don't exist. Especially my mother. And I don't really know what to do now because I'm going to see them in 3 days. 3 days? Yeah. Here comes Thanksgiving. I actually responded to an email from my mother when she asked about the menu, and I informed her that I wanted to cook duck instead of turkey because turkey sucks. And she really couldn't do anything because she was so happy about the email that I had returned. So I kind of like boxed her into a corner with that one. And I knew I was doing it, and I felt pretty good about it. And
1 minute.
The problem I'm having is that when I think about sitting down at that table, there's my mother, there's my father, God help me, and what am I going to say? And all I want to do is curse. And that's kind of where I'm stuck. This is an unfinished tale. Perhaps I'll finish it next month. I literally imagine them there, and the only word I really have in my head is fuck. And that's it.